judging at this point, he was on the right side of. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree, but I also think it doesn't matter at all for his play on the field. I think the idea that people, and I think it doesn't matter at the ticket booth either. I think the idea that people stopped watching football because this one guy did a protest seems ridiculous. Like, I think they stopped watching because some of the best quarterbacks were not on in prime time, and they kept shoving the Chicago Bears down our throats on Sunday and Monday nights last year. That's why the ratings were down. But Kaepernick, the thing is, there's no teams right now where you're like, okay, they need a quarterback really badly, and that's the answer. Because, you know, a team like the Jets is in total rebuilding mode. I don't know what the point would be. Cleveland, total rebuilding mode still. They got to see what they have from Deshaun Kaiser and Cody Kessler.
But some of these teams still need a quarterback, right?
Total rebuilding mode. They don't want him back.
Yeah, I mean, some of these teams, what they're going to send to the post this year on opening day on paper right now, I would have to think that if you had a player of Kaepernick's caliber in the mix to compete, you'd be doing yourself a favor. The Jets would be doing themselves a favor to bring him in. Maybe not politically, maybe not, but from a playing on the field, they need a quarterback. He could be a better quarterback
this year. That's the problem, right? I mean, it's like, okay, that thing's a disaster except for the defensive line. So find out what you have from the young kids. The teams that need quarterbacks right now are either find out what you have from the young kids teams, where you just got to play the guys you have and see what you have, like the Rams and the Browns, or their overpaid starter who's not as good as people thought he was going to be, but you can't afford two quarterbacks at that price teams, which is how I would put Jacksonville and sort of the Mike Glennon situation. No one knows why they gave Mike Glennon all that money, and then they drafted Trubisky. And so while I think Kaepernick would be an improvement on Mike Glennon, they gave him all this money and they drafted Trubisky, so they're not going to put him there either. So the space that's open for him is as a backup, and the team that makes sense is Seattle.
Aaron Schatz joining us here. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at Football Outsiders and at FO_A Schatz. That's SCHATZ. But pronounced like the famous brewery in Milwaukee that was fake and Laverne and Shirley. But it is a great pronunciation. I say his name's like a beer. How do you like that, Aaron? Is that good?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's, you know, Gunshots works too, you know, when I try to explain to people how to pronounce my name. Look, it's Ellis Island. They spelled everything weird when we all landed.
Well, right. I mean, that's when they let immigrants into America. So, Aaron, for you, as my Venezuelan village burns down in South America at this point, for you to get involved in this, I remember you coming up and pulling on my sleeve, and you knew me, and you knew Jim Schwartz, and, you know, through sort of analytics and through where people started looking for player evaluation and for more judgment on all of this stuff. You know, tell me a little bit about your background and getting involved in this, because it is more mainstream now to say, yeah, we have analytics guys, we have stats people, all of sports are looking to that, and sports science and all of that. But you were clearly the Football Outsiders, right? I mean, you gave yourself that name for a reason. You were on the outside.
Yeah, when I started the site in 2003, I just thought it was really funny that people would call their sites Insider this and Insider that when they were just writing from their living rooms the same way I was. So that's